The galaxy cast them out, but humanity took them in. Many systems no longer worked. This ship was not meant to travel alone for so long, and everyone on board knew it. The beings inside were refugees. They once had a name in the galaxy, one spoken with respect. Now that name was only whispered with fear or hate. The galaxy had turned its back on them. They were blamed for a war they did not start and crimes they did not commit. When the Galactic Council passed judgment, no one spoke in their defense. Their worlds were taken. Their fleets were destroyed. Those who survived were told to leave and never return. Elder Senec stood near the front window of the ship. His body was thin from lack of food, and his skin had lost its shine. He looked out at the empty stars and felt the weight of failure on his chest. He had spoken for his people at the council once. He had believed truth would be enough. He had been wrong. Behind him, younger survivors sat quietly. Some were injured, some were sick. Others simply stared at nothing, lost in their thoughts. Children slept close to their parents, their breathing slow and uneven. There were no tears left to cry. Hope had become something dangerous to hold. The ship's navigator spoke in a tired voice. The scanners had found another star system ahead. A yellow star, many planets. One of them showed signs of life. It was not part of known galactic space. No council marker, no patrol routes. Someone asked if it was safe. No one answered. They had already been chased away from every other place. Turning back was not possible. Stopping meant death. Elder Senec gave a slow nod. The ship changed course and aimed for the unknown system. Far away on a small blue planet called Earth, a quiet night passed over the oceans and cities. Most humans slept, unaware that history was about to change. Deep beneath the surface, in a listening station built into solid rock, soft lights glowed over screens and panels. Captain Ethan Cole stood with his arms crossed, watching a long line of data move across one screen. He had been awake for many hours, but he did not feel tired. Space had a way of keeping his mind alert. Beside him, Laura Bennett adjusted her headset and leaned closer to another display. The signal was weak and strange. It did not match known natural patterns. It was not random noise. It was repeating slowly like a voice trying to speak through fog. Laura ran the data again, her fingers moving fast. She checked known languages, known probes, known satellites. Nothing matched. "This is not ours," she said softly. Ethan nodded. "Could it be a trick?" "No," Laura replied. "It is too broken, too desperate." The word desperate hung in the air. Protocol said they should report the signal and wait. Protocol said caution first, safety first, distance first. Ethan had followed protocol his whole career. But something about this signal felt different. It did not feel like a threat. Ethan gave the order to forward the data to the orbital command station. Within minutes, more eyes were on the signal. Debates started. Some voices called for silence, others called for defense. Hours passed. The signal grew stronger as the unknown ship moved closer to the solar system. No weapons scans were detected. No shields raised, just a failing engine and a cry for help. In a council chamber high above Earth, leaders argued through the night. They had heard the rumors of the galaxy beyond their world. They knew there were powers that judged and destroyed. Some feared that answering the call would bring danger to Earth. Others remembered old human history. Times when people were turned away, cast out, or erased because of fear. They remembered what it meant to be alone. Ethan was called into the chamber to speak. He stood straight, his uniform simple, his face calm. "We do not know who they are," he said. "But we know what they are not. They are not attacking. They are not hiding. They are asking for help." One leader asked what would happen if the galaxy punished Earth for interference. Ethan answered without raising his voice. "Then we will face that when it comes. But if we turn away now, we become the same as those who cast them out." There was silence after that. The decision was made by a narrow margin. Humanity would answer, not with weapons, but with open channels and support ships. When the human vessels approached the damaged transport near the edge of the solar system, the refugees expected the worst. Their sensors detected power, shields, and organized movement. They believed this new species would finish what the galaxy started. Elder Senec gathered the survivors and told them the truth. This might be the end. They would face it with dignity. Then a signal came through. It was simple, not complex language or coded threat, just calm sounds, steady and slow. Translated through basic patterns, it carried a clear message. "We hear you. You are not alone." Confusion spread through the transport ship, fear mixed with disbelief. No one had spoken to them like that since before the exile. Human ships held their distance. They did not lock weapons. Repair drones moved forward slowly, stopping when asked. Medical scans were offered, not forced. Ethan Cole appeared on the screen unarmed, his hands visible. His voice was steady. "We are human," he said. "You are in our space. You are damaged. We can help if you allow it." Elder Senek stepped forward. His voice shook as he answered. "The galaxy has marked us as criminals. Helping us may bring you harm." Ethan did not look away. "Then we will choose that risk ourselves." For the first time in many cycles, Elder Senek felt something warm rise in his chest. Not hope, not yet. Something smaller, something real. Permission was given. Human crews worked carefully. They brought food that could be adjusted to alien biology. They repaired engines and sealed broken halls. Medic teams treated wounds with patience. No one asked for secrets. No one demanded payment. The refugees watched humans move with purpose and care. They saw tired faces that still smiled. They heard laughter in the halls of the human ships. It was strange and unsettling. One young refugee asked why humans helped strangers. A human engineer named Adam Brooks answered while fixing a panel. "Because someone once helped us when we were lost," he said. "And we remember." As the transport ship stabilized, a path forward opened. The refugees were offered shelter at a human station, not as prisoners but as guests. Observation would be done, yes, but with respect. Elder Senek accepted. As the ships turned toward Earth, stars stretching into light around them, the refugees felt fear of the unknown world ahead. But it was a different fear than before. This fear had space for trust. Far behind them in the wider galaxy, sensors detected the movement. Quiet alarms began to sound. Records showed the outcasts were no longer alone. The galaxy had cast them out. Humanity had answered. And this was only the beginning part, too. First contact under open hands, the human station hung quietly in orbit around a small blue planet. Its lights reflected off the empty void, soft and steady. Inside, crews moved with calm purpose. They prepared to meet the alien refugees for the first time on human soil. Captain Ethan Cole walked down the long corridors, his boots making a slow rhythm against the metal floor. He was joined by Laura Bennett, the station's lead scientist, and Nora King, a medic. The alien transport approached carefully. It had been repaired enough to make the journey from the edge of the solar system, but it still showed scars of battle and neglect. Panels were dented. Hull plates barely held together. Yet inside, life moved as best it could. Families clustered in small groups. Children held tightly to parents. No one spoke unless necessary. Every sound seemed loud in the quiet ship. Ethan gave the order to open communication channels. The alien's voice was soft at first, hesitant, almost trembling. It was unlike anything humans had heard. The tones shifted rapidly, and translation programs worked hard to convert the sounds into basic language. "We do not trust, do not hope," the translator finally rendered. Ethan nodded, speaking slowly. "We understand, you are safe here, we only want to help." The aliens paused. No one spoke immediately. Elder Senek stood near the bridge window, eyes scanning the stars. He had taught his people to never trust strangers. Yet something about the human's calm and patience stirred a memory he had thought lost. A human shuttle approached the transport. It moved slowly, carefully, without any signs of weapons or threat. Inside were Adam Brooks and Laura, holding containers of food and supplies. They were simple things, nutrient packs, clean water, blankets, nothing that could harm anyone. When the shuttle docked, the aliens hesitated. The docking airlock opened. A human hand extended, holding a small food pack. No weapon, no scanner, just an offer. A young alien named Kira stepped forward, small and fragile, her eyes wide. She reached for the food and paused, shaking. Then she took it. A tiny act, but monumental. Inside the human station, Ethan welcomed the aliens aboard. He moved slowly, hands raised to show no threat. Behind him, Nora King carried medkits, offering aid to anyone who looked injured. "We are humans," Ethan said. "We do not harm unless we must. You are safe here." Some aliens sat on the floor, watching the humans. Their bodies were different, but their eyes held something familiar, curiosity and caution. Senek walked among them, explaining the humans' gestures, the calm movement, the way they spoke. He realized the humans were showing trust without expecting anything. It was a concept foreign to his people. On the station, Laura introduced the aliens to basic human technology. Simple things first: lights, communication devices, heat controls. Everything was explained carefully, slowly, so no one felt threatened. Some aliens marveled at the ease of human devices. Others touched them cautiously, as if expecting them to bite. Outside the windows, stars drifted by, silent witnesses to this fragile meeting. Ethan watched from the command center, noting every movement, every expression. He saw wonder and fear mix in the alien faces. He saw children reach for new toys cautiously. He saw adults whisper, debating whether to trust. After hours, some aliens began to relax. They walked the station's corridors. They examined food stores and sleeping quarters. They touched the walls of rooms, feeling the metal warmth. A few laughed softly at human designs, curious and unsure. Senek called a meeting of the alien leaders. He explained what he had seen. They do not attack. They offer help without demand. We have been taught to fear, but perhaps we may learn something here. Kira, the young one, spoke quietly. They are different. Yes, Senek said, different and perhaps safe. Human teams helped set up living areas. Beds were simple, meals scheduled, medical checks done carefully. Nora King moved among the aliens, tending wounds, giving vitamins, checking vitals. She spoke in calm tones, avoiding complicated words. Some aliens shivered under her touch, unused to kindness. Adam Brooks helped teach the aliens basic human language. They practiced slowly. Words were difficult at first, sounds strange, yet they tried. Laughter followed mistakes. Small victories were celebrated. A bridge was forming, built on patience and curiosity. Weeks passed. Aliens adjusted slowly. They ate new foods, learned small tasks, and began to speak a few human words. Children ran and played, laughing, while adults watched cautiously. They began to realize humans were not their enemies. Ethan held a briefing with his crew. Our mission is simple, he said. We do not judge, we offer safety, we build trust, that is all. Some leaders on Earth criticized the decision. They feared human interference might bring war with the Galactic Council. Some called the aliens dangerous, undeserving. Yet the human teams continued. Their focus was on trust, on proving humanity could act differently. One night, Senek walked the station corridors alone. He watched humans and aliens interact. He saw Laura explaining light controls to a curious alien, explaining slowly, gesturing calmly. He saw Adam helping a small alien child fix a toy. He saw Ethan speaking to the refugees about safety and freedom. Senek felt a strange warmth in his chest. Humans did not act out of fear nor for gain. They acted simply because they could. It was a new idea, almost impossible to believe, yet here it was, undeniable. Outside, distant galactic ships moved quietly. Some were watching, some were curious, some were suspicious. The galaxy had labeled these aliens as criminals. Humans had taken them in anyway. It was a challenge, a statement, a new kind of power. Within the station, humans and aliens shared stories, simple exchanges, names, homes, dreams. The aliens spoke of worlds lost, of family and friends gone. Humans listened, nodded, asked questions gently. No judgment, no blame, only understanding. Children of both species played together in the station's recreation area. Humans taught simple games, aliens taught small exercises from their world. Laughter echoed softly, fear melted, replaced with cautious hope. Senek gathered the adults again. He spoke softly, almost to himself. We thought we would find death among the stars. Instead, we find life. We find friendship. The weeks continued. Humans repaired the alien transport ship fully, making it safe for future travel. They shared basic technology, simple instructions, showing aliens how to maintain engines, purify water, and grow food. Nothing advanced enough to be dangerous, just enough to give freedom, to teach trust, to show respect. A human child named Claire Morris brought a small plant to the aliens. It will grow, she said. Like us, she smiled. The aliens watched the green leaves move under light, unsure but fascinated. Senek smiled faintly. He realized humanity offered more than safety. They offered something his people had almost forgotten: dignity, kindness, the ability to exist without fear. On the observation deck, Ethan looked at the stars. He knew not everyone would understand this decision. Some in the galaxy might act against it. But he believed humans were capable of more than fear, more than war. They could be something new. For the aliens, the first steps among humans were small. They ate, slept, learned, laughed. Each day was a victory, each conversation a bridge. The galaxy had cast them out. Humanity had taken them in. And though danger might still come from far away, for the first time the refugees felt a fragile, growing hope. They were not alone. Someone else had chosen to care. Someone else had chosen trust over fear. And in this quiet orbit, surrounded by stars, humans and aliens began a journey together. A journey that neither side fully understood yet, but one built on respect, kindness, and simple courage. Part 3. Living among humans. The alien refugees slowly began to adjust to life on Earth. The station orbiting the planet had become more than just a shelter. It was a place of learning, of cautious friendship, and of small discoveries. For the first time in many cycles, the aliens felt something unfamiliar: normal life. Elder Senek walked through the corridors every morning, observing both humans and aliens. He noticed how the humans moved with purpose, but without urgency or threat. They laughed, they helped each other, they spoke in voices that calmed rather than commanded. It was unlike anything the aliens had experienced. Kira, the young alien girl, followed him closely. She had started learning human language in small pieces. She could now say her name, ask for water, and even greet humans with a soft smile. She was fascinated by everything: the soft lights, the smells of human food, the sound of running water in the station's pipes. "Why do they smile so much?" Kira asked Senek one morning. "Because they can," he replied. "They choose to be kind even when the world is hard. It is not weakness, it is strength." On Earth below, humans prepared small teams to help the aliens adjust further. Claire Morris, a teacher, began lessons for the aliens. She taught them human words, numbers, and simple customs. She brought small books, pictures of forests and cities, and explained concepts slowly. Some adults resisted learning at first. Their minds were still haunted by memories of exile, betrayal, and fear. They had been taught to expect hostility at every turn. Senek encouraged them to try, explaining that humans were different. "We cannot trust blindly," he reminded them, "but we can see for ourselves." The aliens explored the station carefully. They learned about kitchens where humans prepared food with fire or electricity. They learned about bathrooms where water flowed freely, hot or cold. Some of them laughed at the strange smells and tastes. Others were curious, trying everything carefully. Adam Brooks, the human engineer, showed the aliens how to use simple technology: light switches, communication panels, doors that opened automatically. They touched buttons, pressed levers, and watched as things worked. It was exciting and strange. Nora King checked their health daily. She gave vitamins, examined wounds, and explained how to care for themselves. Some aliens did not understand the small changes, the gentle care. Some flinched at the touch, expecting pain. But over time, they began to relax. The children were the easiest to adapt. They ran through the halls, laughed, and played games. They imitated humans, trying to speak words to touch, to hold. Humans played with them, showing simple games like tossing balls, hiding and seeking, and teaching small songs. The laughter was loud and pure, filling spaces that had been empty for too long. One afternoon, Senek called the adult aliens together. He spoke slowly, choosing each word. "We came here because we had nowhere else. Humans did not have to help us, yet they chose to. We see it in every word, every action. They do not judge us, they do not demand anything. We can learn from them." Some nodded quietly, others remained cautious. Fear was not erased in hours or days, but the seed of trust had been planted. Humans also learned from the aliens. Ethan Cole and his team watched closely. They studied alien ways, their language, their customs, and their technology. They did not take anything without asking. They respected differences and marveled at the knowledge the aliens carried. The alien adults began teaching humans about their own world. They explained farming methods, energy systems, and medicine. They spoke of stars and navigation methods unknown to Earth. The exchange was slow but rich. Each day brought new understanding, a bridge of knowledge and friendship forming in orbit above a small blue planet. Outside the station, the solar system seemed quiet. No human fleet patrolled aggressively. Humans had chosen a different path. They had chosen welcome over fear, patience over judgment. Even the distant watchers of the galaxy noticed. Whispers reached ears far away. Humanity was not like others. Humanity would act differently. Inside the station, friendships blossomed. Ethan spoke with Elder Senek often, discussing strategy, culture, and survival. They shared small jokes, laughter breaking the tension of fear and history. Laura and Adam Brooks helped younger aliens with lessons and small repairs, enjoying the curiosity and wonder they carried. One evening, Nora King arranged a simple meal in the recreation area. Humans and aliens sat together, trying foods from each culture. Aliens chewed carefully, commenting on taste, texture, and smell. Humans tried alien foods, sometimes failing to eat them properly. Everyone laughed at mistakes. For a moment, nothing else existed. No war, no exile, no judgment, only shared experience. As the weeks passed, the aliens learned human concepts: sharing, cooperation, kindness. They learned to communicate clearly and to listen. They discovered that humans often acted out of choice, not necessity. This was difficult to understand at first. In their past, survival often required lies, deception, or war. Now they saw a species that helped without asking anything in return. The children began calling humans by names. Some adults began speaking small phrases in human language. Communication, once difficult and strained, became easier. Laughter replaced fear in small ways. The station, once only a safe place, became a home. Senek watched the transformation quietly. He thought of his own people, the ones lost to the galaxy's cruelty. He thought of the families who had been scattered and erased. He realized humans offered more than food or shelter. They offered dignity, respect, and a chance to exist without fear. A human teacher named Claire Morris took the aliens on virtual tour of Earth's forests, oceans, and cities. They saw mountains, rivers, and deserts. The alien children were fascinated by animals, plants, and the simple beauty of a world untouched by galactic politics. Adam Brooks organized small projects for the aliens. They repaired small machines, built simple devices, and learned how humans solved problems. They learned to work together with humans, not as slaves or students, but as partners. Each project strengthened trust and understanding. One day, Senek gathered the aliens to speak about the galaxy beyond. "We are safe here," he said. "Humans have shown us that. But we cannot forget what waits outside. We must learn, grow, and prepare. One day we may need to defend ourselves or help others who are like us." The aliens listened carefully. Fear returned, but it was tempered by confidence. Humans had shown them another way. The galaxy had cast them out. Humanity had welcomed them. Now they could learn what it meant to live among a species that acted with choice, courage, and care. Outside, far beyond the solar system, other galactic powers watched. They saw humans taking in exiles, helping the weak, and creating a bridge of trust. Some were shocked, some were curious, some whispered threats, but humanity did not act out of fear. Humanity acted out of principle. Inside the station, humans and aliens shared meals, laughter, and work. Each day brought small victories. Every act of kindness was a step toward trust. The aliens began to hope that life could be more than survival, more than fear and exile. They began to imagine a future where they were not hunted or shamed, but accepted. Senek looked at the human children and alien children playing together. Their laughter echoed through the halls. He smiled faintly. "This is life," he said softly. "We are learning it again." And so, living among humans, the aliens discovered more than safety. They discovered friendship, trust, and the possibility of hope. The galaxy had turned its back, but on Earth, life had begun anew. Small steps, small smiles, small victories. Each day brought the alien refugees closer to understanding what it meant to be more than survivors. They were becoming part of something larger, a new story written in patience, care, and courage. Humans watched quietly, too. They learned from the aliens, adjusted their ways, and shared their world. The journey had just begun, but already a bridge had been built between species, a bridge strong enough to carry hope across the dark and dangerous stars. And in the orbiting station, beneath soft lights and endless stars, the first true connection between humanity and the exiles had been made. The galaxy had cast them out, but now, for the first time, they were not alone. Part 4. The galaxy returns with threats. Life on the orbiting station had begun to feel steady. Humans and aliens had built routines. Children played, adults learned, and work moved forward in small, careful steps. Hope grew, but far beyond the calm walls of the station, the galaxy had not forgotten. Sensors on the station detected distant ships entering the solar system. They were large, fast, and well-armed. Their signatures carried authority, power, and threat. Elder Senek's face tightened as he read the reports. These were not patrols or explorers, they were enforcers. The Galactic Council had noticed the aliens were taken in by humans. They were coming to demand obedience. Ethan Cole gathered his senior team immediately. Laura Bennett, Nora King, Adam Brooks, and several security officers crowded around the main screen. Images of the approaching ships blinked with quiet menace. "They want the aliens returned," Ethan said. "They will not accept any excuses. They expect compliance." Nora shook her head. "If we hand them over, the aliens will be punished, probably destroyed. We cannot do that." Ethan looked around the room, calm but firm. "We will not. These aliens are under our protection. We cannot surrender them to death because the galaxy demands it." On the transport ship, Elder Senex spoke to the alien refugees. Fear rippled through them. For months they had begun to believe in safety. Now that hope was threatened. Some whispered that humans might not fight, that they might turn them over to save their own planet. Senex's words were steady. "We are not alone," he said. "Humans have chosen to protect us. If the galaxy attacks, we will face it together. We are stronger than we know." The approaching galactic fleet entered the outer solar system, sending a single signal. Translated into human language, it was simple and cold. Return the aliens or face consequences. On Earth, world leaders debated furiously. Some argued that humans should comply to avoid war. Some warned that the fleet could destroy stations, ships, even the planet. But Ethan spoke for humanity. "If we surrender those who cannot defend themselves," he said, "we become no better than the galaxy that cast them out. Humanity acts differently. We protect even if it costs us." Preparations began. Human defense fleets moved into position around Earth and the station. Ships were armed, shields raised, but no weapons were fired. Humans were not aggressors, they were protectors. They offered a choice: leave peacefully or face defense. The aliens watched these preparations with awe. They had always been hunted, always been victims. Now they were allies, partners in planning and defense. Elder Senex gathered engineers and scientists among the refugees. They began sharing knowledge of shields, engines, and navigation that humans had never known. Slowly, the refugees' experience strengthened human strategy. "You are teaching them too much," a young alien whispered, worried. Senex shook his head. "We are teaching what must be known. This is survival, not betrayal. Humans fight with honor." On the station, humans and aliens worked together, reinforcing structures, coordinating supplies, and preparing medical support. Laura studied alien technology, learning how it could help shield and communication systems. Adam organized teams to integrate alien knowledge with human systems. Nora prepared emergency medical stations, ready for any injuries. As the galactic fleet moved closer, the tension in space was thick. Every ship on Earth's side was ready, but no one moved to attack. The aliens were tense, whispering prayers in their language, holding hands, and looking to Senex and Ethan for guidance. When the first communications from the galactic enforcers came, Ethan responded calmly. "We do not wish war. We offer peace. We will not surrender those who are under our protection." The response was clear: compliance or destruction. The message repeated, leaving no room for negotiation. The galaxy expected fear to control humans as it had controlled others. Ethan turned to his team. "Then we will stand. Defense, not attack. Protect, not destroy. Remember that. Our mission is clear. Humanity does not harm the weak. Humanity does not abandon them." The refugees watched, amazed. Humans spoke calmly, even with death facing them. They did not panic. They did not lie. They acted with courage, patience, and strength. The aliens had never seen anything like it. As the days passed, skirmishes in other parts of the galaxy demonstrated the Council's willingness to enforce their will. Ships destroyed, colonies burned. The refugees remembered why they had been exiled. Now they were part of a new story, one that humans were writing alongside them. Senex organized alien volunteers to help human defense teams. They shared knowledge of enemy tactics, weaknesses, and strategies. Humans learned quickly, integrating alien insights into shield patterns and fleet movements. The alliance was growing stronger. The hunted were now guides, teachers, and defenders. One night, Ethan walked among the aliens in the station corridors. He watched them examine human tools, speak in human language, and laugh quietly. He spoke softly. "You are safe here, and if the galaxy comes, we will face it together. Fear alone will not control us." Kira, the young girl, looked up at him. "You will fight for us?" she asked. "We will protect you," Ethan said. "We do not fight to conquer, we fight to defend. That is what makes us different." When the first battle approached, the galactic fleet sent scouts into the system. Human and alien ships coordinated seamlessly. Shields held, sensors monitored every movement, and communication lines remained open. The galaxy expected chaos, panic, and surrender. They received calm readiness. The aliens marveled at human coordination. Despite fear and pressure, humans remained steady. They did not rush. They did not attack unnecessarily. They defended. Slowly, the refugees realized that this species, so young in galactic terms, had something the galaxy had underestimated: the will to protect others without using fear to control them. Senek walked through the station, observing humans and aliens working together. He saw Laura instructing alien engineers on shield adjustments. He saw Adam helping pilots understand new controls. He saw Nora attending to alien children while human children played safely nearby. He realized something. The galaxy had cast them out, but humans had taken them in. Now humans would teach them courage, strength, and hope. The aliens were no longer victims. They were part of a force that could stand against injustice. When the Galactic Council representatives finally arrived, they were met not by fear, but by unity. Human fleets formed protective patterns around the station and the planet. Alien volunteers moved among them, helping adjust shields, giving insights, and coordinating with human crews. A message came: return the refugees or face attack. Ethan responded calmly. We will not surrender those under our protection. We defend, not conquer. Anyone who wishes to leave peacefully may do so. Anyone who attacks will be met with defense. The fleet hesitated. It was the first time in decades that an alien species had acted with such courage, with such unity. The galaxy had expected humans to bend, to surrender, to use fear as excuse. Instead, they saw something new: humanity fighting for justice, not dominance. The refugees watched, awe in their eyes. They saw humans and aliens standing together. They saw patience, skill, and calm resolve. They saw a new kind of strength, one born of choice and courage. Days passed. Minor skirmishes occurred as scouts tested human defenses, but no major attacks happened. The Council realized that humans were not easily intimidated. They were willing to fight for what was right. Slowly, some ships retreated, unwilling to challenge the unexpected alliance. Senek spoke to the refugees. We are not free from danger, but we are no longer weak. Humans have shown us what it means to protect, to fight without hatred, to act with courage. We can survive and we can thrive. Kira smiled as she watched human and alien children play together on the observation deck. They are different, she whispered. Yes, Senek said. Different and stronger than anyone believed. As the fleet finally withdrew, leaving the solar system in uneasy silence, humans and aliens celebrated quietly. No weapons fired, no lives lost, yet a message had been sent. Humanity would protect the vulnerable. Humanity acted with choice, courage, and care. And in the orbiting station, beneath calm lights and endless stars, the refugees understood something new. The galaxy could cast them out, but they were no longer alone. Humanity had taken them in, and together they had faced the galaxy's threat and endured. The bond between humans and aliens had grown stronger. Fear had been met with patience. Threat had been met with courage. The galaxy would remember this. And the refugees, for the first time, could imagine a future where safety, friendship, and hope were not just words, but real life. The story of the hunted and the human protectors had begun, and it would echo across the stars for a long time to come. Part 5. A new place in the stars. After the galactic fleet withdrew, the orbiting station settled into a calm rhythm. Humans and aliens moved with purpose, but without the constant fear that had once shadowed them. For the first time in many cycles, the refugees felt secure. They were alive, safe, and slowly beginning to thrive. Elder Senek walked the corridors, observing the daily life of the station. Aliens worked with humans to repair systems, maintain food supplies, and organize living areas. Laughter now filled spaces that had once echoed only with fear and whispers. The young, like Kira, ran freely, playing games and learning human language with ease. Ethan Cole met with Senek in the station's observation room. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the windows, soft and calm. Ethan spoke quietly. The galaxy may not forget us, but we have shown that we will not bend. We have created something new here: trust, cooperation, and hope. Senek nodded. They do not understand yet what we have learned. Humanity is different. They fight for what is right, not for power or fear. They fight for others. That is a lesson our people will never forget. On the station, humans and aliens began organizing projects together. Alien scientists shared their knowledge of advanced energy sources and navigation. Human engineers integrated these ideas carefully, creating new technologies that would benefit both species. These projects were slow and careful, built on respect and collaboration, not domination. Claire Morris, the human teacher, continued lessons for alien children and adults alike. She used pictures, simple words, and stories to teach them about Earth's history, culture, and nature. The aliens were fascinated by oceans, forests, and deserts. They compared them to their home worlds, now lost, and began imagining a new life among humans. Adam Brooks led technical training for the aliens, showing them how to maintain engines, power systems, and communication arrays. The aliens were quick learners, and their guidance improved the station's efficiency. Humans watched carefully, learning alongside them. The exchange was mutual. Knowledge flowed both ways, building respect and partnership. Medic Nora King tended to the health of all aboard, human and alien alike. She introduced preventive care, hygiene routines, and small exercises. Aliens learned to value the human approach to health, understanding that care was protection and knowledge was safety. Outside the station, Earth remained peaceful. Humanity had proven it could act differently from the galaxy. Word spread slowly, first through observation posts, then through communications channels. Humans had taken in exiles, protected them, and stood firm against threats. Other species, long forgotten or oppressed, began to watch with hope. Some sent small messages, testing whether humans could be trusted. The aliens gathered one evening in the station's main hall. Senex spoke to them. "We have been given a chance most of our people never had. We were cast out, hunted, and betrayed. Yet here humanity welcomed us. They teach us courage, patience, and trust. We must not forget this. We must learn and grow." Kira, holding a small human toy she had learned to play with, looked up. "Will we ever go back?" she asked. Senex shook his head gently. "Our home is gone, but a new home can exist here among those who chose to care for us. Humanity gave us life again." The refugees began planning for the future. Some worked with humans to improve life on the station. Others helped train new arrivals from other exiled species. Small gardens were built inside the station, combining human soil techniques with alien knowledge of plants and growth. Food became abundant and nutritious, shared freely among all. Ethan visited the refugees regularly, listening to their ideas and concerns. He encouraged participation, asking questions, and learning from them as much as they learned from him. The station had become more than a shelter. It was a community, a model for coexistence. Weeks turned into months. Children of both species played together, sharing stories, games, and lessons. Friendships formed across differences. Trust was no longer tentative. It was a bond that grew daily. One day, a small group of distant alien scouts approached Earth's orbit. They came cautiously, having heard of humanity's actions. Ethan and Senex met with them calmly, offering the same welcome they had given the first refugees. The newcomers were hesitant, expecting hostility. Instead, they were met with patience, care, and understanding. Slowly, their fear melted. Humanity had proven itself consistent and true. The station expanded to accommodate new arrivals. More living quarters, classrooms, and workspaces were built. Humans and aliens worked side by side, learning to share space, resources, and responsibility. Each day reinforced the lesson that cooperation, patience, and courage could create something new and lasting. Senex often walked through the halls at night, listening to the quiet hum of machinery and the soft laughter of children. He reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The exile, the fear, the flight through the stars, and finally, humanity's open hands. He understood that the galaxy could cast anyone out, but humans had chosen to take them in, not as subjects, but as equals. Ethan, observing from the command deck, felt a quiet pride. Humanity had acted without malice, without greed, without fear controlling their choices. They had made a statement to the galaxy. Protection and compassion were stronger than intimidation. In time, the station became a symbol. News traveled slowly but steadily. Other species, long oppressed or cast out, began sending messages of hope. They asked for guidance, for safety, for the chance to be treated as equals. Humans responded with the same principle: care without judgment, protection without domination. The aliens, once hunted and weak, now had purpose. They shared knowledge, taught skills, and guided newcomers. They were no longer victims. They were partners, defenders, and teachers. The station was their home, Earth their refuge, and humanity their ally. One evening, Senex gathered the adults and children for a small ceremony. It was simple: no weapons, no flags, just words and presence. "We were cast out," he said. We were told we were worthless. But we have been taken in. We have been given life, friendship, and safety. Humanity chose us when the galaxy abandoned us. We must remember this always. The aliens nodded, some with tears. Children held hands with humans, feeling the warmth and security of their new world. Laughter and quiet conversation filled the hall. Kira, looking at Ethan, whispered, "Thank you." Ethan smiled. "No one is alone here," he said. "You belong, all of you." The galaxy may have judged them, feared them, and cast them out. It may have tried to erase them. But on Earth, they found more than survival. They found life, hope, and partnership. The station was no longer a shelter. It was a new home, a place where exiles and humans could create a future together. And so, humanity and the aliens stood together, ready to face whatever challenges came next. They were not perfect, and danger might still linger in the stars. But for the first time, they were not afraid alone. They had found trust, friendship, and courage. The galaxy had cast them out, but humanity had taken them in. And under the endless stars, they began a new story. A story of life, unity, and hope that would grow far beyond the small blue planet, reaching across the stars to any who had been forgotten or abandoned. For the first time, the exiled felt at home. For the first time, they dreamed not only of survival, but of life, peace, and belonging. Humanity had shown them the way, and together they would build a future in which no one would be cast out again. And the station, orbiting silently around the planet below, became a symbol of courage, trust, and hope. The galaxy would remember this. So would the stars. Humans and aliens alike looked to the future, hand in hand, ready to face it together. The journey had begun, and it was only the start of something far greater than fear, far greater than exile, far greater than anything the galaxy had ever known.